This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio. We have an extra episode this week just because schedules are crazy for a lot of writers this time of year, and so we want to make sure we get everybody's episode in, and so sometimes we're going to have double or even triple in the next several weeks, but that's okay because I think that offers plenty of opportunities to find new-to-you writers as well as some of your favorite writers having their newest works coming up. And before we get into the writing, I wanted to say that today is Global Cat Day. So any of you who have those sweet little fur babies that keep you company and sometimes probably annoy you some, just give them special attention and hugs today. It is also Black Cat Awareness Month, and my understanding is black cats are not adopted as often as cats of other colors, and so, you know, I had a black cat for a long time, and she was the best. So, I mean, the cats are wonderful. So go ahead if you see a cute little black cat and you might consider it too if you're thinking about adopting. And then it's also National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I know that I mentioned a lot of women's health awarenesses, and last month was Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Understand that these two cancers can be genetically related. If you have one, you can be at a higher risk of developing the other at some point in your life. You can also be a carrier of these genetics, whether you're male or female. So it's incredibly important. We're not just talking about mammograms when we're talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're also talking about genetics. So if you have any family history of breast cancer in your family, of blood relatives, please talk about it with your doctor and see if that's something you need to get genetically tested for. And, of course, if you're a female, please get those mammograms. Understand men can also develop breast cancer, so if something is looking strange, please follow up with your primary healthcare provider. And so now that we have all that in there, I just don't want it to scare anybody, but knowledge is power. So, take control and take a front seat to your own health. It's extremely important. But while we're absorbing all that, we were talking about all these different episodes coming up. Today, we get to talk to someone who is basically going to be our first holiday book that we're going to be talking about for this year. So Fortune Whelan is going to be talking to us in just a second. Her stories are charming and silly and emotionally fraught with fast-paced plots that keep pages flying. When she's not standing at her desk fending off her feline invaders, a cat lover, you will find her on her yoga mat or shelving books at the local library. Her latest release, My Christmas With You, the third of the Dorseys of Conception series, is out now, just came out on the 13th. You can keep up with Fortune at her website, where you can sign up for her newsletter, and find her at Tule Publishing, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. All those links are in the right above the show. Welcome, Fortune. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you so much. I love that it's Black Cat Awareness Month. I ended up actually in a friend group that only adopted black cats. Like, I've had the same friends since college, and we all have black cats, and we only ever adopt black cats. Yeah. It just ended up that way. I have 3 right now. And Sappy, my last black cat, she was at the shelter for 14 months. And no one even put in an application for her. So I sent her photo over to my husband, and he's like, go get her right now. So we did. And she's been the best cat. Like, seriously, she's my most well-behaved cat. She doesn't go on the counters. She waits. Like, she's perfection. I love her.
Yeah, I had one years and years ago in college, and she was just the sweetest little thing. And we called her Mama Kitty, but she was just a wonderful, sweet cat. And it's interesting to see which animals are adopted first and which aren't. So, for anybody who's listening, if there's an animal there, ask for the animal that's been there the longest, or the animal that's, don't just look at the newest ones. Always, give them all a fair shake. So, so you've got your cats, and then, you're juggling your librarian stuff and everything. When you sit down to write, is there a method to your madness? Do you already have it kind of know what you're going to write that day? Or, is it more of a, I'm going to work on this general area of the book? How do you write?
Well, I started out writing as a ghostwriter, so just getting into the habit of writing every day. That is important for me. So I try to set aside time every day to write because things can get crazy. Like I've got a kid at school. I do have another job. So spending time with myself to write every day is really important because, you know, when I first started writing, I had all these big ideas, but I didn't have the skill to write it. And so they were ambitious for me at the time. But the only way to get better is to write. I know that sounds silly, but like I'm at the point now after writing every day for so many years that once I have an idea, I understand, like I can form it and it's not so frustrating anymore.
Right.
It's just like, even if there's no muse, like there's still a skill set that needs to be cultivated. So I truly do think like writing every day is important, even if it's just journaling, even if it's just writing down ideas, even if it's writing like copy and not specifically writing a story, I think it's still important.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly working that brain is just like exercise, you know. I mean, you're not going to get better unless you keep doing it. You're not going to just run out and run a marathon the first time you try. It takes time to practice. So, yeah, definitely. Do you are you better writing in the morning or in the afternoon, or do you just write when you can?
I write when I can. I try to have a little bit of a routine. So I used to write at night after everyone went to bed, but my daughter got older and started staying up later. So now I write in the morning. And I like the morning time. It's quiet. Like I can have a coffee. Yeah. Nobody needs me. Nobody wants me at 5 a.m. So perfect.
Truly. Yes, that is true. You know, most don't. And yeah, I think the morning time is, you know, I usually start as soon as everyone's out the door. Because it's that time of, I know if I at least get something done this morning, even if it's not great, I've done something, you know, versus I'll do it this afternoon and then, you know, all hell breaks loose and it never happens. So, but like you're saying, everybody's got their routine. So, you know, you obviously love reading, you obviously love writing, but what was the catalyst that made you say, I want to write this story or I want to write a book?
So I lived in a different place. So I don't know if this is probably a pretty relatable story for people who, you know, they get the job, they get married, they get the kid, they get the big house, they live in the suburbs. But I just felt like I was, like my soul was dying. Like I wasn't creating art. I was just kind of like going through the motions of life.
Right. And
luckily I have a partner who's willing to, like I always have these crazy ideas, like and then I just do them. But he's been with me for 15 years now. But when I said, you know, hey, let's sell our house and move to the mountains, he said, okay. So we did. And that was just before in 2019. Well, it worked out. Like we put our house on the market in January and sold the house a couple weeks later, like in the dead of winter. Like I live in Canada. So, and so we moved to the mountains without a plan, just that we were going to live here. And I ended up buying a house of somebody I knew who lived out here. But I didn't know until we were in the house looking at it. And it just works out. Like I feel like things work out if they're supposed to be. And then as soon as we moved here, I sat down on my computer and I started writing every day. And yeah, and it was about a year of like skilling, like leveling up and skilling up. And just before the pandemic in March, I got my first ghostwriting contract. And truly, to be honest, I did, I think 22 altogether. I just finished my last one this month because the story wrapped up. So it's carried me through all the way to now, which is I'm extremely grateful for. Yeah.
Wow. And then you sat down and decided on this series. Yeah.
Well, on this series. Well, yeah, and I'm one of those people, you know, who's always written. I've always written. When I was 10, we had this program at school for kids that were a little bit kind of like more advanced than the class. Mm-hmm. So they kind of taught us. So we had these special projects, and my special project was I was like obsessed with like Murder, She Wrote and like Matlock, and I wanted to write a murder mystery. But I went to a very Catholic school, and my teachers were like, "No, I don't know if you should be doing this. Like you're in 5th grade, you shouldn't be writing about murder." But I was like dead set on it. And it was, I remember what it was called The Murder at the Muriel Hotel.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was my very first book, and they helped me kind of so I wrote it, I edited it, I bound it. I wish I still had it because it was pretty great. But yeah, that was my first book I ever wrote, and I've never stopped.
I love that. Yeah, I was about that age when I wrote a screenplay about the Loch Ness Monster, but it was from the monster's point of view. So, and I still wish I had it. I have no idea. My mom might, she may have it, but I remember her typing it. And then we had to use the copy paper in between, because nobody had copiers at home at that time. So she had typed it all out and, bled through. So it was cool. But I kind of laugh about you saying them not wanting you to write about murder and going to Catholic school, because it's like the Bible's got a lot of stuff about that. So I don't see how it's any more scary.
Yeah, I know. But it was a very close murder. It was more of like the mystery part. It like, if anything, it was like a cozy mystery more than anything. But
right, yeah.
Genre fiction for me.
And then you've been right. Well, then you've been writing this whole time, and now you're ghostwriting. So you come into, and you've written now My Christmas with You is the 3rd of the Dorseys series. Yep. But did you plot all 3 books out, or did you just come up with the idea of the first book first?
Well, I don't know if you know my story. So I pitched the first book at Karina Pitch 2 years ago in 2020, and it got so Jane came into she slid into my DMs and said, "Hey, I like this concept. If you want to send me the book," but at the time I didn't have a book at all. Because I'm not a plotter. So I wrote it really fast, and I sent it in, but I didn't tell her that I sent it in. I didn't tell anyone. I just sent it through the slush pile. But I guess they were waiting for it, because she texted me, or she messaged me maybe even the same day, and said, "Hey, we got your book. We're fast tracking it. So it's gone." So it went to Sinclair right away. And I was I was a lot nervous. So I just needed to sit on her messages for a couple days, but it ended up, so she acquired the book, so Thule acquired the book, and so I got a contract for the first one, and then I worked over the next couple of weeks with Sinclair to kind of map out the other 2, so I signed the contract for for book 1, and then the series just maybe a week or 2 later. But yeah. Nice. But I feel really fortunate that I can be a pantser. I think both Jane and Sinclair trust me enough to know that even if I don't have all the pieces, that the story will come together when I write in the book during the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So tell us about My Christmas with You.
My Christmas with You. So this is Danny's book. So in the very, very first iteration of Stuck With You, Danny he stole the show, and he actually died in the first version of the book. That obviously didn't happen now. Oh yeah, and people are mad about it. So he's not resurrected, but he had to have he's honestly, he was the most favorite character in the whole book, and he's not he's kind of like a Loki character. He's not a good guy, but he's not a bad guy, but you just you want the best for him. I don't know if you have a friend, he's always in trouble, but always you just know he has a good heart despite everything that happens, and it's kind of a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of what's it called, circumstance, and it's not real. You don't want to say it's his fault, but it's not. You don't
want to wash your hands of him. You just it's come on, guy. I know it's there. I know the goodness is there, right?
Yeah, totally. So that's his story. And this is a second chance romance because he just things fell apart for him when things were supposed to be the best. Things really fell apart when he was younger. So I really wanted him to have his happy ending. And I was looking, I know we're not supposed to look at reviews of the book, but I was trying to make sure that I did him right, but it seems like I might have not have. I think people wanted him to be happier, but I just like, it doesn't fit for him because he can't have too much, because if he has too much, then he'll try to like push it away. Do you know what I mean? So he has to it has to be just right for him. Yeah. No, I really loved him. I really love the story. Out of the 3 books, this is the only one that didn't get like a critical review. And it was like, but it's my favorite. Like, it's the funniest one. Just talking to my husband and like just people in my family have read the book. They love this one so much too, because it's everybody's there, because it is the holidays and you get to see their dynamic together. And that's why I love it too. Like, I think it was very fitting to have, Danny's whole family around with him. Cause that's all he wants.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's hard sometimes as a writer, because you know your characters, and if others are saying no, it should have happened this way. I rarely read a book that the author lost their character, like they lost what their character needed, and so you have to trust that what you wrote was exactly what was supposed to happen. I mean, they're talking to you. So, you gotta go with that. So, but it's exciting because you've got the 3 books. Are there more coming in the series, or are you working on something new?
So I did, so I haven't announced it officially yet, but back in August, I did sign a 4-book extension with Thule, to extend the Dorsey series. Yeah. So, and I don't want to spoil things, cause I had a book club last week, for the first book. So I know that there's being people like, just getting into the series. So I don't want to spoil anything, but there are 4 books coming in the next couple of years. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah. And it's really funny. There's always things. I feel like I'm always working on something. I just handed in a novella to last week, which is it's part of the Happily Ever After Collective Patreon.
Right.
So that will be coming. I can't tell you when it is or what trope, but that will be coming sometime between now and next summer. And then I'm just working on a couple of proposals with a couple of other editors. So lots of stuff on the go. Yeah, for sure. I don't know how to stop. I don't know about you.
No, I mean, I think once you're rolling, it's like you just keep filling in the next project, because it's like you sound like you write like I do, the kind of a pantsing, and then you go back and plot it in, but it's that need to know what's next. Okay, I'm going to finish this, and then next I've got this. So yeah, no, I get that very much. I get that.
Yeah, no, I was listening to a gentleman. He's a musician, and he was saying the same thing. He was like, you like create art, so that you want, and the dream is to like stop working, and just like make your art, but like you just don't know how to stop once you're there, which is kind of like a weird conundrum. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So.
For sure. It looks like the rest, I think sometimes, I mean, every once in a while when someone wants a down day, but I mean, I think overall that need to create, whether it's music or stories or characters, it just sits there all the time. So, you've got to do something with that, because it's there for a reason. So I am so glad you mentioned Happily Ever After Collective, because several writers that I have followed and I'm friends with are in this group. And so please tell me about this and how it came to be.
So I received an email from Avery Flynn, and I wasn't sure if it was a real email, because it had come through my website. And when things come through the website, like you have to kind of filter out the noise, like what's spam and what's not. And it was before the time I'd actually taken the contact box off. So now if someone tries to email me, they have to actually like put in my email and stuff. But so I like read it over, and then I wasn't sure where. So I sent it to a couple of people. I sent it to Kelly Kane, because I've been so fortunate to have her in my life, because she has an agent and I don't, but she's always happy to like answer my questions. So I sent it to her, and she sent it to her agent, and they said it was all legit. So we were like, cool. And I sent it back to Avery, sent him in. And I don't know how, like where the catalyst happened on her end, where she was like, this is the idea, but I just love, and it's, like, I don't know about you, but the subscription box has just kind of like exploded in the last couple years. And this one's kind of nice because it's not like a physical box. It's, novellas that you can pick and choose. And I think it's just really fun. Like, we needed this, like, I would love to open like an email of happiness every month where I just get to read these like cute little stories by people that I know. Maybe I don't pick up, what's it called, an Adriana Anders book normally, but it's sitting there. So, I'll read it, or it just kind of like exposes, probably just exposes you to more writers, especially if you love romance. Cause I don't know about you, I tend to go to the writers I already know. So this is a good way to like mix it up a bit.
Oh, for sure. It's like anthologies are wonderful for that as well, because new to you writers, and someone's like you're saying, I don't know if I want to commit to 300 plus pages, but hey, is a 30-page novella? Sure, let me see. And that certainly helps. And you guys have different levels of novellas, I believe, and then different content. Like you can be a Patreon member for anywhere from $5 to $25 a month, different levels, and then you get to pick different novellas. Some you get some swag with, but also, I mean, it looks like fun, and you do get to pick, like you're saying, these different authors that may be new to you authors. And so, I mean, it's the list is huge. So if anybody's looking, it's patreon.com/the Happily Ever After Collective. But you can also pull it up on your linked tree. You've got it there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, right. And so I'll have the link for that in the write-up of the show. And it says, right in the middle, the HEA Collective Patreon. So if you're looking for new authors or just the authors you love, there's a whole list of stuff. So it's kind of exciting. And so when someone said you're going to do this, how often do you have to write a novella for the collective?
So this one was for like the first year. So I think the contract goes from however the year was. And then out of everybody who signed up, there was kind of like a sign-up sheet for tropes. And Avery tried her best to get everybody into the trope that they wanted. So we were assigned tropes, and then just whenever your novella is due, or whatever your trope is, there was like a timeline. So some people who had, like Kelly's, I think was done, hers came out in last July. So she had to have hers done before, whereas mine's not due yet. So I just finished writing it a couple weeks ago. So, yeah. And it's kind of neat because a lot of us, I got to work with authors I've never met before in terms of like putting together copy and creating graphics. So there was some stuff that we all kind of collectively did and helped, but we also have an admin person that kind of like centralizes everything with Avery. So, and we all pitched in to help with that. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love that. I mean, again, it's just fun how when you have groups of writers working together and brainstorming, and I'm sure, you pull from the group when you're saying I'm kind of stuck or I'm not quite sure what direction I want this to go, or any ideas for a name. I mean, it's just wonderful to have that group of people there that get why you're writing something. I mean, that collective brain is wonderful.
Yeah, and to be honest, like in terms of writers, like I've joined different writing groups over the years, and I don't know if you've got this same feeling, but like the romance writers are the ones that are the ready to lift you up the most, because they know there's so much for there's something for everyone.
Yeah, exactly, and that's fun to see. It's funny. I have been with part of other groups like you're mentioning, and I don't see that same. I don't know if it's camaraderie or encouragement for success. It's almost like I'm going to give you just enough information to make you learn it, but I don't want to give you too much just in case you get better than I do. It's always like that. I don't really feel that with romance writers. Yeah, I don't feel like it with romance writers 99% of the time, because it's like there's so many readers. It's just, I don't understand why you're worried about this, just whatever. So, yeah. it's crazy stuff, isn't it? But we'll stick with the good ones, and we'll stick with the people that help each other. So that's a much better plan. And so you've got your fourth book that's coming. You've got your novellas. Do you have anything on the horizon after that?
Oh yeah. So there's a 4-book. Oh no, there's going to be 7 Thule books with the Dorseys altogether. So 4, So I got 3 and then another 4 that will come out. I think they'll start in 2024.
Okay.
I do something like that. And then I've got the novella that's going to come out. And then I'm working on a super secret project. I just sent off the synopsis today. So I'm hoping to hear good news about that. Yeah. And once that one's out, I'm very, very excited about that one. So, and that one I had to plot out a little bit more. It's just, when you work with different editors, they just have different ways they want to do things. So, and I don't know if you found this, but aside from like writing a book, so I thought writing a book was the hardest thing, and then it wasn't. And then but then editing of the book is the most important thing. And then I was like, oh, maybe that's not the most important thing. But I feel like as a writer who writes traditional, I think learning how to pitch a book and create a proposal is probably the most important thing.
Yes, and I think it's one of the most stressful things too, for sure.
Yeah. Because you can write a book and you can edit a book, but if you can't sell it, then I guess you're self-publishing.
If you can't explain what it's about.
Anyway. Pardon?
Right. If you can't explain what it's about, it makes it a little difficult for people to know what you're doing. And there's some people that are just amazing writers, but I've taken a lot of classes to learn how you pitch and make it as succinct as possible, and that takes practice for sure. And not everybody is great. I mean, it's just a process. And I know that some people just like, well, it's my book and it's good. It's like, well, that's lovely, but we don't know what it's about, so you got to tell us. Yeah, you got to tell us. So will you do something for Halloween at some point, like maybe about Black Cat awareness? Since we talked about that earlier, and put some black cats in your book?
I don't know if I'll put some black cats in my book, but I can't. I don't know. They're just like in my life.
Yeah.
I always wanted, I don't know. We'll see, because I'm just coming off of a really not stressful, but it had a really big last couple of weeks. I'm still in bed right now. Because this is the first day I've been able to just be in bed. Even though I wrote a synopsis and I'm talking to you and I have chippy chicks later, this is the most downtime I've had since the beginning of, I think, October. Yeah. But I am looking forward to Halloween. Like I said, I work at the library, and with COVID, obviously we've been running programming, but not the level of programming that we are used to doing. And this year, we're finally being able to do programs in-house again. And I'm planning with another friend of mine, Lindsay, who works with the library, a kid's Halloween. We're going to do a haunted house in the library this year. And so that's my next big project. It's not writing related, but it's also very close to my heart.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the library is essential. I know a lot of people think, well, what's the point of the library? I mean, there's been people, and I think because you can go check out books. There's people who use the computers. There's just all sorts of things the library is good for. And I know that I've talked to a lot of people over the years who are like, well, I have all these books. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if I want to donate them. And I always say donate to the library, because that way, if you really want to get read it again, you can just go to the library and get it. But the library always makes good books,
I always encourage people to bring their books in, because so one of the things I do at the library is I set up kind of meet the author events, and also I take care of kind of book sale stuff. So we have a big book sale with the Friends of the Library, which is the kind of the fundraising arm of the library, but we also have a little bookshelf. So people, yesterday, so I keep that stocked. And I keep it stocked from books that people donate. So for example, yesterday, I just put out a whole bunch of kids' books, and a lady came in to use the photocopier, and the photocopier is right next to the bookshelf, and she bought them all because she was going over to the Indigenous kind of community that was closest to us, and they're always looking for books. So she bought them all up and brought them out there, and, you know, they're all donated books. And as well, we have, I have a little free library that I stock from the library because we have a lot of people who come through my town that don't have an address, and so they can't get a library card. So they can go there and exchange books. I think, I always say that, we're literacy advocates because it doesn't matter what kind of reading it is, audiobook, graphic novel, book, it's all reading, and it's important. And to me, I'm so passionate about public access. It's really important to have the libraries there, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I know that I've told, I have a book segment I do once a month, and I always encourage people to pick up, if it's a subject that they want to read about, but they don't know if they want to invest, in a 300 or 400 page book, let's say a biography or what have you, or an event. It's pick up a children's book. Just start at the basics. And you'd be amazed how much stuff you can learn from just starting with the basics. And so, always, keep reading. Just keep reading something. It's just incredibly important. So, let's just make sure people have those books and keep them reading. So thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for supporting it.
Oh, for sure. So you've got all this going on, and you finally have some downtime. What do you read when you get downtime?
You know what I love to read? So I can't read a lot of fiction just because I write it. I love, on Instagram, there's this writer I follow, Chelsea Deventes, and she has a celebrity book club. And I read all the celebrity memoirs. I love them. Because truth is stranger than fiction. And then but I also like to read about how, because you can tell, I remember I read the Mariah Carey, The Meaning of Mariah, and you can tell where the ghostwriter was ooh, and she stopped, whoever the ghostwriter was stopped writing in Mariah's voice because she was kind of separating herself from the story a bit, and I think it's really neat. But then there's also the ones where that they're writer, you can just tell, right? When Patti Smith's Just Kids is my most favorite book. That's the one that inspired me to be no, I'm telling stories. That's what I'm meant to do. But I love nonfiction. But it has to be good.
Nice.
My husband saw the Will Smith book, and he's oh, are you going to read that one? And I'm so bad. I was no, there's not going to be enough tea in that one. He's holding back. I hate books that hold back. And I don't know if that's because of my editor. She's never pull a punch in a book. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, I just finished reading Waxing On with Ralph Macchio's book. It comes out Tuesday, I think. And he is just such a gracious guy. I mean, there's just no denying that. I mean, everything I've seen him in, and he's talking about the very first filming or the very first showing of Karate Kid. And he was sitting in the very back of the theater, he walked in after the lights were down. And so they were all sitting there, and it was in New York City, and they showed it. And he said people were jumping out of their seats and screaming and everything. And he wasn't expecting it to be as huge as it's been, but just the way he talks about everybody is just so nice and lovely. And it's just a fun read. It's just somebody who is truly gracious for what they have. And you got to like that.
Yeah, no, I love them because you want to know what's I don't know. I'm so, I love learning so much about people. And when you see people who are kind of in the public eye, I want to know what their private lives are like. Even to a degree, or what they think about their success or what they think about things like that, just because, there can be so much tragedy. And it's nice to kind of see both sides. So I think it just gives us a better picture, of people. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just always studying people, always. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Some of those books can be very enlightening. And then others, like you're saying, it's I don't think they wrote this.
Yeah, totally.
A ghostwriter.
But I studied, what's it called? Or no, I ordered the Jenny McCurdy one, the iCarly girl.
I'm Glad My Mother Died, that book.
Yeah, have you read it yet?
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I read her interview about it. And it doesn't sound like she held anything back. Like, it's just all there, all the ugly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yikes. Yeah. But, it's her story to tell. So she needs to tell it the best way she knows how.
No, totally. I want to read it. Because you can't have, you have to hold both, right? Like, you can't just, have all the good stuff. Like, humanity isn't like that. Like, you can't understand a person truly until you know, everything that they hold and why. Yeah.
Right. The one thing I really, there was a lot of people talking about Audible, and I've been spending more time being able to listen to Audibles. And I have actually really enjoyed autobiographies read by the authors. Leslie Odom from Hamilton, I listened to his, and that was pretty amazing. But I think it's a little different when it's the person who actually wrote it, is reading it. There's a really good one, As You Wish, Carrie Ellis, who was in The Princess Bride. I was reading the book, and then he narrated the book, but they also had all of the other actors come in for the sidebars and read what they had for this, and of course everyone's in it except Andre the Giant, of course, because he's passed. But it was really sweet. Like, everybody was so into the project, but I don't think, and they knew they had done something special, but they didn't realize how special it was. So he's got Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal and Robin Wright, and everybody's in it in the narration. So, it's just really fun to hear them. So but yeah, I know what you mean about the human nature and trying to study it. So yeah, it's definitely, people should mix up their bookshelves for sure.
I love that. No, I do. The first time I read Just Kids, it was on audiobook. And I remember stopped and I was like, oh my God. And I was in the middle of a run and I just started it over. I could listen to Patti Smith talk forever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's amazing. Yeah.
Right.
For sure. All righty. Well, I am so thankful that you had time today to talk to us. I really appreciate you very much. And big success for your third book and more projects coming down the line, as well as with Happily Ever After Collective and all those things. So thank you so much for talking to us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so glad we made this work, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
You too. I hope you get some good downtime.
I will. You too. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too. This has been Patricia W. Fisher. I've been talking with Fortune Whelan. She has her newest book out, My Christmas to You. It is the third of the Dorseys of Conception series. It's on Tulay Publishing. You can find her at her newsletter on her website. And then you have Tulay Publishing, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and the Happily Ever After Collective. You can find her. All of those links are in the write-up of the show. So everybody, go out, grab the books, and keep on reading, everybody. Stay safe. Oh, and go adopt those black cats because they are the cutest.
This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.